Jaime Lannister. As a character, he's been someone who's gone through the most clear arc change, from a douchebag, rich, noble person who seemed to be absolutely villainous in every single way, shape, and form, whether it's pushing Bran out of windows, fucking his sister, and just being an all-round cunt. But as us, the audience, gets more and more POV time with him, and we hear his history, understand his motivations, and actually see him care for someone beyond just Cersei. This makes the audience start to see that he's not just this horrible, douchey guy that we saw in the beginning, that he's a complex, nuanced character. And this comes from his big change. This change was sparked off by him losing his hand and him having to switch his entire being as a person from just relying on his sword skills and his name to him actually having to project a strong character if he was going to be worth anything at all. So over the story, he's wavered up and down on this empathetic scale of his character. And I want to look at these two very simple scenes we get in episode 5 of Game of Thrones between Jaime and Cersei, where we see these real contrasts to their characters, and we really can tell where Jaime is heading, how he thinks now, and how his entire arc we've seen through all the previous seasons has changed him for season 8.
How many men did we lose?
We haven't done a full accounting.
Now, if we stop the scene right here, we can see how far Cersei stands away from Jaime. She doesn't ask if he's okay, if he's hurt, what happened, how he's feeling, doesn't embrace him, doesn't come up to him. She's very distant and cold. Not really the picture of a loving relationship.
It's not only armies that win wars. We have the Tyrell gold, we have the Iron Bank behind us, we can buy mercenaries.
Now, this doesn't go over Jaime's head. She's already talking about analytical strategies and fighting back, turning around their loss, and Jaime's just coming off the battlefield, where he saw his men get scorched down in the hundreds, if not thousands, run down by Dothraki screamers, almost drowned, absolute adrenaline and emotion coming off of him. He's still in the armor, soaked in mud and wet from the battlefield he just fought in and lost. And she's talking about the next step, the strategy, and everything else. This parallel of Jaime's emotional thinking and reactions and how he wants to behave is all based on his emotions, his morals, his empathy, where Cersei has none of that. She believes the only way she can immolate Tywin is to be the most distant, cold, calculating, non-caring figure that he was in their lives. And it's very clear that Jaime has given up the days of not caring about the people around him.
I just saw the Dothraki fight. They'll beat any mercenary army. They'll beat any army I've ever seen. Killing our men wasn't war for them, it was sport. Her dragon burnt 1,000 wagons. Qyburn's scorpion fired bolts bigger than you. They couldn't stop it, and she has 3 of them. This isn't a war we can win.
Now, Jaime's emotional here for sure, but he has lived and breathed fighting, strategy, and war his entire life. And he's seen the odds stacked against him. He didn't understand if the dragons were real or rumors. He never fought a Dothraki before, but now he has done both. Now, one thing that was really, really clear is the one shot we got of Cersei. It's almost as if she recoils and sees weakness in Jaime. She turns her face away, barely even wanting to look at him. All she hears, all she sees is giving up, weakness. It's over, and she's not willing to accept that.
I sit on her father's throne, the father you betrayed and murdered. And in her mind, she's winning. What sort of offer do you think she'd make?
Now, Cersei paints this picture of a no-win scenario, that whether Dany has a stronger army or not, they have to keep fighting because they're gonna die anyway, because surely Dany hates them. She says that Jaime killed her father, except for as the father she never knew and was crazy, and she knows that. She mentions how she's on her throne, except for thrones can be easily stepped out of and walked away from with no hassle. But Cersei doesn't think that's an option, where clearly Jaime does.
He didn't. Tyrion didn't kill Joffrey. He had nothing to do with it.
After all this time, it still amazes me.
It was
that
Olenna.
I shouldn't have listened to you. She should have died screaming.
She's dead. Like her son, her grandchildren, her whole house. And if we don't find a way out of this war, we'll follow them.
So we fight and die, or we submit and die. I know my choice. A soldier should know his.
Now when Cersei finds out that her entire prosecution of Tyrion was foundless and it wasn't him and there's no guilt for her whatsoever, she just gets more angry. She puts part of the blame on Jaime and she doubles down in her hard belief to fight them. And she knows that Jaime wasn't convinced in this conversation, so she does what she always does when Jaime starts to go away. She emotionally manipulates him and draws him back in.
Dead men, dragons, and dragon queens. Whatever stands in our way, we will defeat it. For ourselves, for our house, for this. Never betray me again.
And so Jaime gets hit by another dose of the drug of Cersei. But this time, it doesn't last. Whether it's the increasing odds stacking against her, her cold and calculating look, the crazy counsel she has around her, Tyrion's influence in arguments, or the ever-growing clash in their personalities of raw emotion and empathy, to her complete, utter lack of it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Your support is absolutely amazing, and I really enjoyed diving into Jaime's character and everything about him, and being really interested to see what he will be like when he interacts with Jon Snow and Arya and all that bunch up in Winterfell. Also make sure to like and subscribe to the video, that would be amazing.
Hey, it's King McKay.